And welcome back. Well, our next guest is a motivational speaker. He teaches other people about success and leadership. It's kind of ironic if you look at his past.
Yeah, Darren Fisher was once a very successful businessman, but ended up losing it all at one point. His marriage, his business, and his confidence. Today, Darren uses his failures and his successes to help others pursue greatness. He wrote this book. It is called The Confidence Quadrant. He joins us now to tell us what you can gain from his mistakes.
Thanks
I
for
love it
being
when
here.
other people can learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
That's the best way to learn is
Right?
like, let someone else mess up and then just don't do what they did.
Right.
I find your story fascinating on a lot of different levels. One is that you're sort of a self-identified geek or nerd.
Yes.
You're okay with that.
Yeah, because I'm always learning and growing. I love technology and breaking things down. And you just have to embrace it at this point, because Bill Gates was the first one to say he's a nerd and a super successful nerd still to this day. So now we can embrace being the fact, hey, I'm a nerd. And I love it. So
Yeah.
This is not your first time on the show.
it is not the first time. I actually,
Good point.
I got on a long time ago. This has been a long time coming. And so
Let's just show the first
see the
time that he was
picture?
on the show.
Yeah, let's see it.
It's a hand. It's
okay,
not
that
a baby.
is my hand. Okay, yeah, it's wrapped around the baby. I was a prop for it. That's my niece Elise.
She's adorable.
Yes, we were at State Fair, and so I was just carrying her around, and we got on the morning blend. And I said, okay, that's my segue. Very comfortable after being on the first time, and so now I had to get my face on after I got my hand on.
Right, so your hand
did a great job.
Your
Thank you
hand
so
was
much.
perfect for the show, and she's adorable. Share a little bit, if you would, about being the successful businessman and then losing it all. Your marriage, the business, like kind of going downhill.
Well,
right?
I thought that if you're intelligent and you are charismatic and you work hard, you're supposed to have everything. And so I had the wife, I had a boy and a girl. I mean, I had everything that you really, for the American dream, you'd want. And I was my own businessman, so I used to go out and hang out all the time, and it was just really great. But what I found was it was totally all about me, all about what I'd accomplished. And because I wasn't really paying attention to what was going on around me, I ended up losing it all. And the business went, my marriage went, I was working 80 hours a week. I wasn't the greatest husband. It was just horrible. And so I got to a point where I just couldn't take it anymore. I didn't like who I was. I didn't like my reputation. So I remember being in my mom's basement, which is horrible. I didn't picture at 28 I'd be in my mom's basement, I remember just on my hands and knees saying, Lord, you have to change me. And from that moment, I just felt a difference in my life. I started going out and saying, okay, I want to make a difference. I want to use my gifts and talents to help other people become great. And it's not about me becoming great, but it's really about other people pursuing their greatness and me using my gifts and talents as a servant to them. And so that's what totally changed everything around for me.
You say there's a thing called the Confidence Quadrant, and it examines how two people can have the exact same experience but walk away, one maybe crushed and one exalted.
Yeah, totally. So my son and daughter, so sports is a great opportunity to see really about a person's character. And so my son, he went 2 for 9 in a baseball tournament. So 2 out of 9 is not really great, because if you do 2 out of 9 of anything, that's not really good. And I said, so Dalen's my son, I said, Dalen, so what was your takeaway? He says, Dad, I can hit anybody. So he got the confidence from only being successful twice that he could do anything if given that same opportunity. My daughter, in the same instance, she went 6 for 7. And so I asked her, so Darren, what was your takeaway? And she says, Dad, I missed that one.
Interesting.
And I just said, oh my gosh. So I said, well, but you were successful 6 out of 7, sweetie. That was great. And so what I found is that everybody is not, just because you grew up in the same household or you're going through the same circumstances, you're not really taking away the same things. Some people interpret their successes and they grow confidence from them, others don't. And other people fail, like my son after the 2 for 9. I said, well, Dalen, you need to go practice if you want to get better. He's like, why would I practice? I could hit anybody.
Like,
2 from 9. Like, what's wrong with you, Dad?
Too much confidence.
That's exactly it. He ignored his failures. He only focused on his successes. So you become this overconfident reciter, which it can be good, because if you're in sales or in business, you need to have that confidence, but you also have to have the humility of focusing on your failures so you become adaptable, because failure is where you decide to change. Because if you don't, if it's working, you should keep doing it. If it's not working, you do something different.
And I want you to explain the quadrant, because that's really important. But first, because I want to finish the story, where are you at in your life now? Are you successful again? Are you remarried? What's your relationship like with your kids?
So I am.
Is there a happy ending?
There is a happy ending. So one of the things I learned is that outcomes are not in your control. So all you can do is, if something is working, you keep doing it. If it's not working, do something different. So I did change. I am remarried. I have a beautiful wife, Michelle. I've got I have a 19 and a 17-year-old. So that's
oh wow,
that's the family.
Look at you
so
guys.
we are a morning blend every day.
Yeah, you are. A big group.
Yes, we are. So there's 6 of us, and so it's my wife Michelle. My daughter Carlin in the middle. The youngest one is Kara, that's Care Bear, and then up in the left is Dalen and my daughter Darian. So I've coached them all, so I have a great relationship. We have a marriage that I know we have to work at. There are times when I want to say, well, you're wrong and I'm right, but then that's not necessarily right. It's about compromise and working together and having that humility and knowing that I'm not always the best at everything. And I really need to help. If I'm going to be great, my wife has to be great, and I want to make sure that she blossoms and becomes great. And if I can do that and help her build confidence, then I become a great husband and a great leader for my household.
You're so cute.
I love that.
I like you.
You have really taken your failures.
Okay, we ran out of time. Do you want us to really quick sum up the confidence quadrant? Because we got so into your life.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
you know?
So basically it's this, that if you're an overconfident reciter, that's a person who focuses on their success and ignore their failures. So that person really needs to embrace their failures, because it's okay to fail. We can't control our outcomes. And if you're going to become great, it's really finding out what's not working and do something different.
Okay.
The opposite side of that is the fearful doer. That person focuses on failure, but they ignore their successes. So they become high achievers, like the high GPAs, but they don't enjoy the process. So they're always living in this fear of making a mistake. So let's say they get a 98 on a test. They're not going to say, oh my gosh, I got 98 right. They're going to say,
I missed 2.
That's exactly it. And those people don't become great, or they don't enjoy the process of becoming great. Auto repeater is a person who ignores their success and failure. So they're rigid and they're timid. That's a horrible place, and you'll spiral in that place, and you'll never even try, because what's the point? Ideally, we want to become the confident enterpriser. That person focuses on success, so they're confident, but they also focus on failure, so they're adaptable. And each of us wants to strive to be that way. So my big takeaways is this: every day you should focus on 3 successes and write those things down so you become confident. But also dictate 3 failures, write them down, and say, it's okay, and what am I going to do differently based on those failures? And if you do that, you'll have an awesome life, you'll pursue greatness, and ultimately you'll achieve a greater success.
Your book signing tonight at 7 o'clock, Boswell Book Company, right on down, or you can get a copy of the book as well. Meet Darren and learn a little bit more. 7 o'clock, Boswell Book Company, or dfisherconsulting.com is the website to learn more
and we
about the
come back
quadrant.
With no question.
When?
You tell me tomorrow. I mean, that's what we're doing. So look forward. So 8 or 9 o'clock. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I really
exactly.
appreciate it.
Back tomorrow. Your book signing, we'd love to have you back.
Yeah, please
Thank
do.
you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate your time.